As usual, guys, I'm just coming to you straight up. And the straight up truth is that it's been about 24 hours since I got my second dose of the Moderna COVID vaccine. And honestly, I don't feel so good. I really don't. I'm going to walk you through the symptoms I've been having and what's happened in the last 24 hours since I've gotten the vaccine. But the first thing I want to say before I tell you these symptoms is to tell you that number one, the fact that I am having symptoms since getting the second dose of the vaccine lets me know that my immune system is working. That's how I know the vaccine is actually sort of working in my body, and for that, I'm grateful. Number two, I want to let you know that these side effects are not necessarily unexpected. I suspected I would have some, I just didn't know which ones I would have, and I did have some. After my first dose, I only had muscle aches and pains. This one, I've had more symptoms, going to tell you what they are, but it's not necessarily unexpected. Do not let this freak you out. Number three, it doesn't change how I feel about the vaccine. I would do it again if I had to, and I'm still recommending the COVID vaccine to my parents, to my patients, to my family, to my friends. I feel very, very, very strongly about this. The other thing is that we know and have known that the second dose of the COVID vaccine may cause people to have more of a strong reaction and more symptoms than, say, the first dose. Well, that seems to be what I have had. So once again, that is not alarming. Remember, guys, that any symptoms you might get after getting the COVID vaccine is far better than actually getting COVID itself. So I want you to remember that. I'm going to tell you about the symptoms that I've been having and why I really don't feel so good. But these should not deter you or discourage you from getting the vaccine yourself. And my mind has not changed about it. So please make sure you understand that. So let me go through my symptoms. I got the second dose of the Moderna COVID vaccine about 24 hours ago, almost on the dot. It was on the 21st at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I did go live. I'll put the video in the description if you haven't seen that video. I was very excited to get the COVID vaccine. At least that's what a lot of you guys told me, which I guess I was really excitable because I was excited. I did not feel the needle going in. It didn't hurt. It didn't even hurt afterwards. Got my Band-Aid, went on about my way. And in fact, I took myself out to lunch to Chick-fil-A. That's right. Enjoyed some waffle fries. Is that what they call them? Waffle fries? Whatever. Those little fries that look like the waffle. Some chicken strips. I enjoyed myself for lunch. And not only that, but I was scheduled to volunteer in our COVID clinic at Rowan University School of Osteopathic Medicine yesterday afternoon. So after lunch, I drove right back to the COVID clinic where I got my COVID vaccine, feeling just fine. All afternoon at the COVID clinic, it was about 4 or 5 hours of standing, walking, supervising medical students, seeing patients and making sure everything's going okay. And yes, I was on my feet, but I wanted to get my steps in and I was feeling fine. Arm wasn't hurting, nothing. I was doing okay. By the end of the day, around 5 p.m., I remember thinking, day is done. Seems like a long day. Got in my car, started driving home, and that's when I started noticing, geez, I'm kind of tired. Not only that, but my arm started hurting more than it had before. I didn't get home until about an hour later, about 6 p.m. We're now at about 8 hours after me getting the COVID vaccine. And guys, this is when it really hit me. I called my parents to tell them I was home, and I remember feeling like so exhausted. I mean, like, oh my gosh, I need to sit down. Oh my gosh, I couldn't do anything. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to get into bed. I ate something really quickly, and then literally I went to take a shower to get in bed. This is 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. My arm was hurting more, and I had a headache. Now, I had a headache before I got the COVID vaccine. I need to mention that. I often get headaches. That's not unusual. So I didn't think anything of that. But I noticed towards the end of the day, my headache got worse. I don't know if it's because of the vaccine or just the natural course of my own headache that I have. Either way, I was exhausted, my arm hurt, and my head hurt, and I crawled into bed. I stayed in bed for about an hour just reading, scrolling social media, and during that time, this is from 7 to 8 p.m., now we're about 10 hours post-vaccine, second dose, my legs started cramping up, my whole body, my muscles hurt. And not only that, I started getting the chills to the point where I had to put socks on in bed. I didn't turn down the thermostat in my house like I normally do. I felt cold. And I just felt uncomfortable. I remember feeling like, gosh, this feels like the flu. And I didn't know what was going on. I was exhausted. I had a headache. I had arm pain. I felt like I had the flu. My muscles hurt. And I had the chills big time. And I was like, what's going on? I was like, I bet this is the vaccine that's working. And I was up and I was like, I've got to go to bed. I got up though and I took some Motrin because I was like, that's what you need to do. Take some Motrin. By the way, check with your doctor before you take any over-the-counter or prescription medications. Make sure whatever is right for you. I crawl back in bed. I turn off my lights at 8 p.m. This is 10 hours after getting my COVID vaccine. I fall asleep, and then 2 hours later at 10 p.m., I wake up dripping with sweat. dripping. My hair, my scalp is wet. I'm dripping. Had to change my clothes, changed everything. I'm like drenched. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, did I have a fever? See, I didn't take my temperature when I had the chills. I didn't. I wasn't thinking right because I felt like I had the flu and I was like, oh my God. Wake up dripping with sweat. And I'm like, oh. So I took my temperature then and it was like 99.4, I believe it was. And I was like, oh, this is low grade. So I was up for a couple hours then because I felt a little perkier, probably because of the Motrin, I'm thinking. I read a little bit more. I called my parents, my family to tell them how I was feeling. And around midnight, I went back to sleep. I was like, okay, we're doing good. I said, I'm sure I'm going to be fine. Woke up then again at 3 a.m., 3 more hours. I wake up and I'm starting to have chills again. I'm starting to have muscle aches and pains again. My headache still hurts. My arm hurts so badly I can't even roll over on my arm. I'm sleeping on the opposite side, really not feeling good. It wasn't as worse as the first time around though. So this time I took Motrin again because it had been the allotted amount of time since my first dose of Motrin. It had been enough time. So I took more Motrin. I went back to bed. And I took, I took my, did I tell you I took my temperature then? I took my temperature then. Yeah, I think yeah. And it was like 99.6, I think it was. And I was like, low grade. Go back to sleep. I wake up, got my notes here. I woke up at 7 a.m., so that's about 4 hours after that. Went back to sleep again, woke up at 8 a.m., which is when I had to get up to start getting ready for work because I'm working today from home. Meetings with my students, meeting with my staff, doing meetings all day today. I'm in the office tomorrow seeing patients, and I'm hoping I feel better by then. I took some Motrin when I got up because enough time had passed. I've eaten some breakfast. My arm still hurts. It's not as bad as what it was. I still have a headache. I still feel foggy. My muscle aches and pains are gone. Well, they're just not as heavy. And then my chills, I don't have them right now, but I don't know if that's because of it's going away or it's because of the Motrin that I'm taking. I'm going to try to get in a nap in the next couple hours because honestly, I just don't feel well. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. One thing I do know is that these symptoms are really only likely to last 24, 48, 72 hours, something like that. They're not going to be, long-lasting symptoms based on the data that we have. I'm sorry this is a long video, but I wanted to go through to exactly how I felt and how I'm feeling. I'm going to keep you updated every day. Remember how to think about these symptoms, how I'm thinking about them is number one, we know that it's not uncommon to get symptoms from the COVID vaccine. These symptoms don't scare me because I knew this could happen. We know that after the second dose of the vaccine, we may be more likely to get more systemic symptoms. That's exactly what happened to me. First time around was just the arm pain, and that was pretty much it. This time, it was a lot worse, but I knew that could be happening. So if it happens to you, know that's not unexpected. Also, this tells me that my immune system is working. This is how I know it's working. Now, if you don't have these symptoms, it doesn't mean your immune system's not working. But understand this is not necessarily a bad thing. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but no, it's not bad. Motrin is helping me a lot. You'll check with your doctor if you have symptoms after your vaccine. I still recommend the vaccine to my family, friends, patients, etc. I would take it again myself if I had to or needed to. And the other thing is, remember, this is far better than getting COVID. And again, once again, not unexpected given my second dose. I'm going to keep you updated every single day. I'm not going to lie about this stuff. I'm going to tell you straight up what's going on. So guys, ask me any questions that you have. I know you guys are probably wondering things. Again, it's the Moderna vaccine, second dose. I feel so proud, so privileged, so honored to have been able to get this vaccine. Honestly, it's such peace of mind. So I am grateful, guys. I want you to get the vaccine too, if you qualify. Guys, please share this video. If you have not already, please like it as well. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do so. I do daily videos, health videos, COVID videos. Please click the little bell to get updates, guys. I'll see you soon.